Good morning. Today we will show you how to assemble and wrap the nets in the Z562 press. All the components needed for assembly are delivered on a pallet. We start by unpacking the pallet and the box with the small assembly components. The box contains screws, nuts, springs, washers, bearings, and other essential components. We start the assembly by seating the bearings in the designated place, using a rubber mallet. Next, we thread the holes for the counterknife using an M10 tap on both sides of the interior of the press. We install the counterknife by placing it in the holes and in the previously installed bearing. Finally, we move it towards the bearing. We move on to assembling the holder, knife. We need a safety strap, 2 holders, bearings with a sleeve and a metal component. The order of assembly: strap, holder, bearing, second holder. We screw the holder to the wall of the press using wrenches and a drill with a socket wrench. Finally, we tighten the safety strap with an Allen key. We prepare 2 sets consisting of a spring, a threaded rod with a hook, and 2 nuts. We install them on both sides of the interior of the press. At the beginning, we gently screw in the components, and then we tighten them with a socket wrench, stretching the springs to halfway through their range. Finally, we tightly screw both screws. We create 4 sets consisting of an M10X45 screw, a spring washer, and 2 regular washers. We take the second counterknife and place it in the designated holes inside the press, according to the instructions in the video. We secure the counterknife using the prepared screws and washers. We tighten the screws alternately, which ensures even pressure and stability. We install the cover by screwing it in with Allen screws and nuts. Optionally, you can gently bend the cover upwards, which will improve the later distribution of the mesh and prevent it from breaking. We grease the threaded rod. We install the bearing using a rubber mallet, and then we also grease the bearing. We place the rod inside the press. We install the holder, rod, order, holder, bearing, second holder, safety. We screw the holders to the wall of the press, and then we tighten the safety with tools. Finally, we add an additional steel component. We prepare another 2 sets. Spring, thread with a hook, 2 nuts. We insert the second rod into the press. We secure the rod with screws, and then we tighten it with a drill and a socket wrench. We are installing the previously prepared springs with hooks on both sides of the press, making sure they are tensioned to halfway through their range. We prepare 2 sets consisting of a M10X45 screw, spring and plain washers, and 4 screws with nuts. We position the rod so that its narrowing is pointing down. Only then will the mesh be distributed evenly. Incorrect positioning can cause issues with wrapping the bale. We secure both rods using screws in the designated spots and tighten them to the walls of the press. We're testing. We're trying to slide our fingers between the roller and the rod. If the rod is too close, we gently bend it away, so that the fingers can fit in freely. We are installing the pressure plate, placing it in the designated compartment. We install a roller with spiral wires, making sure that the spirals are facing towards the baling chamber, as instructed in the film. We secure the roller with screws, tighten it, and then install the damping springs on the roller. Finally, we check if the roller moves smoothly and is fully damped on the suspended springs. We are tapping 2 holes for the mounting screws in the specified location. We are preparing 2 mounting screws, placing a spring washer, a regular washer, and an oversized washer on each of them. We secure the part in the designated spot, tightening it with a drill and a socket wrench. We leave a little bit of slack on the left side of the screws to allow the wheel to move freely during operation. We are installing the washer 10 and the guide wheel for the cable in the designated spot. On top, we add a washer and hang it up. End of the cable. We run the cable according to the instructions in the video, making sure there's enough space between the cable and the hydraulic pipes. We position the guide wheel so that the cable doesn't touch any other components. We tighten the wheel, and then we loosen it slightly for freedom of movement. We do the same with the upper clamp. Rinks. The screws with an anti-slip coating ensure safe operation. We are installing the next wheel, starting with the bearing. We grease them, install the wheel, add washers of the specified dimensions, and tighten it with a screw. Finally, we loosen it slightly so that the wheel can rotate freely. We are installing the belt tensioner. We apply glue to the thread of the wheel, tighten the wheel, connect the plugs, and optionally secure the excess cable with a zip tie. We tighten it as much as possible, and at the end, we loosen it slightly. We check the operation of the wheel and the belt tensioner. We are installing the next wheel, just setting it in place with a hammer without tightening it. Screws. The set includes 2 drive belts, a longer one and a shorter one. We install the shorter belt on the 2 smaller pulleys, and the longer one between the large and small wheel. We install the tension spring in the indicated place, making sure there is free space between it and the belt, which prevents damage. we install the knife, starting with the metal extension, the knife element and the safety block. We prepare a screw with 4 washers, locking the mechanism according to the instructions. The next screw with 2 washers is used to lock the wheel. We tighten everything according to the process shown in the film. We connect the cable to the knife element. If there is a lack of cable tension, we adjust it at the upper part. We make the connection using a screw and a nut, tightening them with a drill. We set the position of the knife by adjusting the cable at its upper part. The knife must move slightly and stop on the wide washer. After adjusting, we lock the cable with a screw. We install the knife guide element using a screw, 2 washers, and a nut. We tighten it and then we adjust it manually. The end of the guide element should be flush with the beginning of the exposed thread. We position the knife so that it rests on the thread, not on the wall. Wheels. If necessary, we gently adjust the knife by bending it. This is the assembly of the binding machine looks like Z562 Prep.